Welcome to another episode of Brent's exciting video channel. Today we're going to talk about the Brother Q series of sewing machines. If you are in the market for a sewing machine, the Q series is a great place to start. They have 4 sewing machines in this lineup. You have the 575, the NQ575, you have the NQ700, you have the BQ950, and then you have the BQ1350. Now, on the table in front of me, I've only got the 575 and the 1350, and I'm going to explain that to you right now, reasons why. Used to be I didn't sell many of the 575s because they didn't have the thread cutter. Thread cutter was important, and the thread cutter used to come on the 700 series in the Q. When they took the thread cutter and put it on the 575, the 700 was now kind of not obsolete, but the difference in price between a 575 and a 700, it didn't merit the upgrade in features didn't justify the difference in price. Also, I want to note, for those of you that own baby locks, I just want to note that this is equivalent, I believe, to the Baby Lock Brilliant, and this is going to be the equivalent of the Baby Lock Soprano. And I know that there's 2 other models in between, the Lyric and another one, I can't remember exactly what they are, but those are going to correspond to the 700 and the 900 series. So, we sell a lot of the 575s. I sell a lot of these 1300s. Oh, I used to sell the 1300. They discontinued that over the summer and upgraded to the 1350. Pretty much the same machine. They just added the the spool holder to it. So they call it a BQ versus a NQ, and they put a 50 in a so this is a 1350 versus a 1300. But the 1300, for all intents and purposes, is the same machine. So if you can find one of those internally, it's going to be the same. It just probably is not going to come with the thread holder. In the Q series, you do have 4 machines. You have the 500 series, the 700 series, the 900 series, and the 1300 series. We used to sell a lot of the 700 series when the 500 series didn't have the thread cutter. 2 years ago, they upgraded from the 550. They updated the model from the 550 to the 575 and added the thread cutter. So now we don't stock the 7 or the 900 because the difference in price versus features doesn't merit the jump up. What you're going to get on the 575, this is a great machine. MSRP on this is for about $1,000. MSRP I think is right around $1,000. Honestly, you should be able to get a much better price on it if you go to your local dealer. But MSRP is $1,000. Dealers, you're gonna, I think street price is probably around $700 or $800. Don't quote me on that. The 1300 MSRP on that is right around $2,500. I want to say street price on that is going to be $1,700 to $1,800. Again, talk to your local dealer. But those, like I said, street price versus MSRP is going to depend on your dealer. But anyway, the 575 is a great machine if you're just getting started. What's really nice about the 575 is the interface. All your settings and all your settings are right here on the touchpad. Your double needle setting, your speed settings, your needle position setting. It's all right here on the touchpad. So it keeps it very simple, very easy to operate. When I have the clientele that I tend to put these in, somebody coming in, they've been sewing for a while, they're on a 20-year-old machine, they're looking to upgrade, but they don't want to go high-end, and they tend to be older, less and technology averse, I guess is the best way to say it. Because if you're not technologically savvy, you don't really want a lot of bells and whistles and gadgets, this is a great machine because the settings are all right here, very easy to operate, very easy to troubleshoot over the phone if somebody has a question because all your settings are right on the front. And like I said, it has the thread cutter. So because it has the thread cutter, I no longer sell a lot of the 700s because the thread cutter is really what the feature that people were upgrading to. Like I said, the 700 series, don't do a lot with the 700 series. I don't have the prices in front of me, but I can tell you that there's a difference in price. I want to say a couple $100. Well, a couple hundred, probably close to $300 or $400 difference in price on the MSRP side between the 700 series and the 500. You will get a better LCD screen, a few more features. I believe that may have the alphabet in it, but it's not enough to merit the difference in price. If you're looking at the 700, you're going to get basically that same machine in the 575 and save yourself a little bit of money. There might be a couple must-have features on it. If that's the case, go with the 700. But from a sales standpoint, I think I would say 575 for anybody that's looking at a 700 series. You're just going to be just fine with the 500 series. Then from there, you go up to the 900 series. I don't sell a lot of I've sold maybe 2 of them. I used to have one on the floor to show people, but I don't even stock it anymore. The step up from the 700 to the 900, again, you're paying some money. The only feature I believe that it has that you would notice from a user standpoint is going to be sideways feed. The feed dogs feed sideways, which some people like that. It's a kind of an odd feature. The purpose of it is to get wider decorative stitches because your feed dogs, your stitch field on these machines is limited to 7 millimeters. With sideways feed, you can get wider decorative stitches. The 900 has it, but again, the difference in price doesn't really merit it to go doesn't merit the feature set from a user standpoint. I don't only sell these; I've actually sewn on them, so I can talk about these things. This isn't a sales pitch. I actually sew, so I can tell you difference in usable features between a 575 and a 900. Not a whole lot. Again, you'll have a better the screen's a little bit more information, a few more settings, but no must-have features that you're going to miss, and you're almost getting into twice the price of actually it is probably about twice the price of a 575 to get into a 900. And if you're in that ballpark from a budget standpoint and you're looking at the 900 series, it's well worth the little bit extra to go all the way up to the 1350. I sell just as much of the 1300 series as I do the 500 series. And this is easily twice the price of the 500 series. Now, people interested in the 1300 series, this is going to be full featured sewing. What you get in the 1300 series is you're going to have pretty much the same feature set that you're going to get in the high-end, the Luminaire, which is Brothers top of the line. This is going to have most of those sewing features minus the camera and projector and the dual feed foot. And of course, those are pretty important items. But if you consider the difference in price, where this is almost, in orders of magnitude less expensive than a Luminaire. When you look at a Luminaire, you're talking $20,000 versus it's 10 times more expensive than this machine actually at the end of the day. And that being said, all you're giving up is going to be the projector. Again, the projector and the scanner are nice, as well as the even feed foot. But this is going to have your pivot function. That's the big function that a lot of people that are sewing on their Dream Machine or on their Luminaire and they want a second machine to sew on for traveling or while their machine is stitching out, they want their pivot function. That's the big function that they're going to miss. This machine has it. There's also a few other things that it's going to do behind. It has the automatic height adjustment, which when you see it demoed, it's kind of cool. It's hard to explain what it does, but it's a nice little feature. It is something that you will use. And the pivot function. Those are the two actual functions that you're going to see right off the bat from a user standpoint that you're going to use. Now, is that pivot function worth the triple the price of the 575? A lot of people think so. I've had people come in, buy a 575, and I always give them the 1 week trade-in option. They'll go home, they'll come back with this and trade up to the 1300. Like I said, the 500 series is really good for somebody, an older sewer, doesn't want anything fancy, not super comfortable with technology because of your interface. On the 1300, you'll have a much better screen. Your screen here is going to give you more information on the LCD. However, all of your settings are going to be buried in the settings page. So that's something to keep in mind. So if I've got to troubleshoot over the phone, I've got to get in there and you've got to scroll through some pages. So this has more settings to it, and it's an extra page. It's a layer down, and that can be a problem for some people. Like I said, what's nice about this is it's every setting is a button on the front of it. This one has that kind of buried, but not a big deal. If you're all right with a cell phone, you can usually do all right with this guy. So the other big things you're going to get out of the box is it's going to have quite a bit more features. As you can see, it's going to come with the extension table, and with the new 1350 with the upgrade, you're going to get the thread stand. You're also going to have your walking foot and most of your accessories that you're looking for in a sewing machine. The 500 series out of the box actually does really quite well for what I call entry level, but for a machine. You're going to get your full foot tray here, which is going to have all your trays, your bottom, and there's a few other things as well. But your basic feet are going to be included. I can't remember if it's coming with a walking foot now or not. It's not going to have the extension table, and it's not going to have the thread stand. So I'll do another video a little later on, more in depth on how to use the different machines. But when you're looking, if you're in the market for a machine, the 500 series is an excellent machine to get into. Make sure you get this 575, not the 550. The 550 doesn't have the thread cutter. You're much better off at that point if it's between a 550 or 700 series. Go to the 700 series because you're going to want that thread cutter. But the 575 and beyond, has a thread cutter. Really nice little machine. For the money, you can't beat it. It's a great little machine. If you've been sewing for a while and you like some of the advanced features, the 1300 is a really good machine. Now these are great machines. Like I said, you can get into this for probably under 2,000. This one's going to be under 1,000. Once you get beyond the $2,000 mark, that's a whole nother story of machines. Brother has a few options. Every brand has a few options at this point. But for a sub $2,000 machine with lots of features, great deal for the money is going to be your Brother 1350. Like I said, the baby lock version I believe is called the Soprano. It's going to be the same machine, so I'm gonna endorse that as much as I endorse the Brother. I happen to sell Brothers, so that's why I've got these in front of me. Like I said, we'll be doing a video at some point covering these machines a little more in depth, but I just wanted to cover the basics from a buying standpoint. Great little machine if you're sub 1,000. If you want to keep your price, comfortably under $1,000, this is a great machine. If you're 1,500 to 2,000 is your budget, you can't go wrong with this machine here. This is by and far the best. The 1350 is by and far the best-selling machine in the store. You can get machines with a little bit more throat space from Brother, and I'm sure other machines have them as well. But the feature set, money plus features, you can't go wrong. It's a great machine. I love that. This is actually what I sew on. I'm trying to convince myself I need a dream machine, but I don't do enough embroidery to justify it. I really like the 1350. That's my personal machine at home. You can't say nothing. Like I said, 575, great for what you're looking for. But if you're in the market, it's worth the extra money if you're sewing a lot. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to comment in the section below on the YouTube channel, or if you caught this on Facebook, just throw it in the replies. Feel free to email me at info@fourpinesquilting.com, or actually you can hit my personal email at brent@fourpinesquilting.com, and stop by the store, fourpinesquilting.com. We've got fabric for sale and all sorts of good stuff. But again, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching another episode of Brent's Exciting Video Channel. And check us out at fourpinesquilting.com.